For many centuries, the concept of Kundalini has been practiced in many cultures and religions. It has been mentioned within the Vedic texts, which backdates to 1000 BC. Kundalini has been demonstrated in mystic literature, labeled as many names. It is aligned with a universal phenomenon in esoteric teachings. These writings have spread throughout many ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians, the Tibetans, Chinese, Native Americans, and Africa. Most of ancient civilizations throughout history has been worshipped or represented the serpent as a resurrection, healing, or a divine symbol, teaching that the serpent is linked with spiritual wisdom. This divine energy is our God-given right, for we as humanity are creators, creating the experience of now. Living in freedom of love, peace and joy and compassion, this inner power has the ability to create a better world. The Kundalini serpent is an energy force which can rise up the 33 vertebrae of the spine. The tree of life is represented in ancient Kemet, describing the spiritual aspects within humanity. Within Genesis in the Bible, the story of Adam and Eve eating the forbidden fruit is a metaphorical story. Adam was masculine, Eve being feminine. These are the two life forces within every human being. The serpent who tempted Eve is nothing but consciousness. The 7 chakras are known as energy centers. As the serpent elevates, it will pierce each chakra until it has reached the crown chakra. At this point, the third eye being the seed of the soul. This will activate and you will see God face to face, just like Jacob did. There are many stories within the Bible which is referring to Kundalini risings. It is illustrated in esoteric writings, so if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, it is demonstrating on how to channel Kundalini energy. The chapter on Numbers explains about the sinful nature of the Israelites, why Moses had put the serpent on the bronze pole. It was actually an allegory story, for the actual meaning is about rising the serpent of sexual energy within you. As it flows up your 33 vertebrae, the body will experience powerful electrical energy. The serpent then begins to pierce through each chakra until it has reached the crown chakra. Jesus was crucified at the age of 33, which in truth represents your 33 vertebrae. The place where Jesus was crucified was called skull. This is actual representation what's within the human skull. The cross representation comes from prehistoric ages. Within ancient Egyptian religion tablets, the cross was demonstrated as the man who crucified his lower nature. The new spiritual man has been born of water, and the spirit being pure-hearted, living in tune of divine life. Christ is the natural representation of the inner self. This crucifixion of Christ is referring to the Kundalini rising which is possible for every human being. He who strives to resurrect the spirit within destroys his sinful nature. Many ancient civilizations represented Kundalini symbology, known as the serpent wrapped around an egg 3.5 times. This is referring to your lower set of vertebrae. Rising the energy up the tree of life can take a long time, but as it elevates, it will pierce through each chakra. The individual will become more illuminated, noticing many changes physically, emotionally, and spiritually. By being disciplined and proper prepared, maintaining the correct practices, it can be achieved. Failing to do so or falling such things can have a list of negative side effects, such as acute pain, headaches and migraines. A proper Kundalini awakening should be a blissful experience. It can last for minutes and then stop, but most of the time it can last for months. From the bottom of the spine, it will rise as you take deep breaths within. The energy force will elevate and flow upwards, reaching the heart space, or it can continue upwards, reaching the top of your head. As you breathe out, you will feel a warm, tingling shock sensation throughout the body. When Kundalini elevates, it will increase your consciousness. There are many different phases you can experience. A fiery purification burns away past traumas which was deep within you. As Kundalini advances, your consciousness will further advance. You will lose a grip of unhealthy egos, illusions, realizing that you are not above anyone, and in matter of fact, we are all connected. The inner growth of self-love will grow. You will have a great compassion for others. Reaching the heart space, your energy within will heal all past conditions. The spiritual heart helps us recognize that enlightenment is necessary for self-growth, for the heart is linked with the cosmos. When the energy reaches the throat and the third eye, the energy is now free-flowing throughout the whole body. The fear of death disappears. Reaching past the head, you will realize that the opposite of things are actually the same. You will experience oneness and separation. To obtain light, you must learn to traverse your darkness. Trying to understand it by intellect thinking, it will only get you so far. It's more to do with surrendering yourself fully to the divine. Once applied, enlightenment will flow through you. We live in a society which has denied our feminine principalities. As intellect being masculine, it governs our thoughts. Using thoughts alone is what society is built of. A mind of thought can't comprehend with the unseen force within spirituality. As long as masculine energy dominates, there will always be separation, ego, bitterness, and hate. The fiery burning volcanic eruption of Kundalini energy can rewire the neurological structure within your brain. Once the change happens, some people change dramatically. They stop listening to certain musics, they value themselves, so they detach from certain people. They will come to great understanding of things, accepting people for who they are. With great understanding, they will see past the smoke, understanding how sick the world and society is. It can be hard to process at first, but with love and understanding, they will do their part. When Kundalini begins to awaken within, it is best to focus on healing past traumas. When we are traumatized, we are resistant and unable to take care of our mind, body, and spirit. You see yourself as a victim at first, so it's best to step back and try to gain understanding of the world and how to traverse it. No matter how much you meditate or go within, there will always be certain events or situations which will cause pain and suffering. The key is your reaction, knowing not to get stuck within the mind about things for too long. Throughout life, your mind has been programmed of social and culture conditioning. This has formed pain within you. Now is the time to overcome such conditions. It's healing the pain within and generating a new type of consciousness. This will benefit you and the world. The dark night of the soul is coming as you change. It is infiltrating the reptilian side of your brain. As you will discover many truths about yourself, you will see your violence and your darkest desires. This is leading to a massive amount of personal healing. For now you will accept the primitive instincts within you as a part of you. The grief within is realizing that you have caused much harm in life. Accepting these truths of who you are is hard, For soon enough you will notice that you don't want to take part in drama and meaningless distractions of the world. It does not mean you become perfect, for there will always be times you fall back into patterns of behaviour of lower consciousness. The key is not to reject anything on how you feel. It's best to accept these behaviours are a part of you. It can take years of practice before you see major results, as the ego attaches to an unchanging cycle. The fiery serpent burns away the frozen thoughts and the patterns of all consciousness. The mind has been stuck with an unending thought cycle, replaying over and over again. The energy is fearful, so you lack motivation to change, as you can't, for the patterns of the thoughts are custom set. It's used to its feelings and surroundings. Once the burning process of Kundalini commences, there is no longer chaos or repetitive loops. Instead, we feel wholeness, health, and inner growth of peace. This is recycling the old set of traumas. That's why the great thing about solitude is, when you're experiencing a Kundalini rising, you can now process these energies. The most beautiful realization is once you was addicted to chaos by being competitive to many illusions which was not serving you. Instead, now you step back into witnessing emptiness, peace and silence, expressing an inner bliss of joy.